Hey, all good morning. So, so you already know, right? The virtual mission, how to install the virtualization. So, Devlin, do you know what is virtualization? So, how we can install the virtualization softwares on the hardware, Devlin?
No, sir, not exactly. I've
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
done my BCom, so I'm not a technical person in that sense. But
Okay, okay. No worries. I will give you the two recordings. You can watch those recordings. Okay, you will understand how to install the Linux on virtual machines. Okay.
sir, I have downloaded Linux on virtual machine. I've
Hmm.
used virtual machine box,
Hmm.
and on that I've customized my Linux as well.
Customized Linux. So, which
Yes.
Linux you are using?
I'll just confirm.
Hmm. Yeah, so this is the Oracle VirtualBox. I installed Oracle VirtualBox on top of VirtualBox. I installed the CentOS 7 Devlin. So Satish, you also know, right, how to install the virtualization software on top of virtualization software. You need to install the OS.
Yeah,
I think Magna you did, right?
yes.
Magna. Address. Yeah. 2.7. Yeah, let's try with the IP addresses, guys. Yeah, so I'm using Putty, guys. Putty to connect the servers. Yesterday, I already discussed it, right? What about what is Putty? I think the last class. So 192.168.56.101. So let me ping the IP address. CMD of ping 192.168.56.101.
Bro, your screen is very small.
My screen now.
Yeah, it's showing very much small.
I shared my entire screen, right?
No, no, let me.
No, are you able to see my screen, entire screen, right? But that
Yes,
red
sir.
hat you are seeing. Yeah.
Then is it on my side or what? I'm able to see only small box of yours.
I will show. 102, 103. Destination reachable 104. 105. 106. 7. 08. Well, 010. 011. 012.
What are you doing, bro?
Hmm?
But in this scenario,
Actually, I'm trying to get the IP address. So here I'm unable to see the IP address. Okay, in the small screen. Actually, the IP address is I'm installing number of times, right? Something like it will get zero 072. We'll do one thing else. What is this? The mission. Yeah, guys, let's start Oracle VirtualBox. So I don't know why it is getting small. I'm just starting the Oracle VirtualBox, guys. So this is my Oracle VirtualBox. In this Oracle VirtualBox, I installed the CentOS 7. So I'm just starting the CentOS 7. Yeah, I got the big screen. Are you able to see my screen, right? Satish, Devlin, IPA. Yeah, shit. That's the reason I'm unable to access that. A/etc sysconfig network I1 scripts ifcfg enps 08, right? Which one? 8 and 9. So here onboard equal to, no, we need to keep it onboard equal to s while we getting the, so we are using a DHCP, so we are getting the IP address while server starting time. Okay, while rebooting time. So the onboard equal to s. I will tell you guys how to update this page, how to edit the file. I will tell you, no worries. Okay, init 6. Yeah. So now you will get the IP address of the server. So right, for example, the server is located in the data center. So you want to connect it from your Windows machine. How you can connect it? You can connect it through Putty, right? The third party tools. So you are connecting Linux machine from the Windows machine, right? So both are the class platforms. So we need a third party tool. So the third party tool is a Putty. Putty is putty is something like it provides the SSH access, right? So if you use the putty, we can connect the Linux servers on the Windows machines. Okay, root Red Hat. Okay, now you will get the IP address of the server. IPA. So what is the IP address, guys? The IP address of the server is. I'm not getting the IP address. Valid if preferred. I think that was not modified. NPS 09 method equal to DHCP on boot equal to YZNPS 09. Yes, right. Mm, system CTL start network manager. Six. Yeah. So this is the kernel version, guys. 3.10.0, right? So that is the kernel version of the OS. So Red Hat is the password. So cd/etc sysconfig network file scripts here ifcfg enp s09, right? Yes, sorry. Less if down ifcfg enps 9 successfully disconnected. If up, nps mtu 500. Same, right? The calendar. Okay, guys. So we'll discuss this later. Yeah. So what we will discuss yesterday, guys. Guys, are you able to see my screen, right? Hello.
Yes, but it is still small, bro. I just pinged you the same screenshot in the chat as well.
Chat.
Yeah, if you see the chat, no, you will come to know how small it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it is like that.
So I want to get the IP address. Why it is not getting? Let's init the 0. Mm, what is this adapter, right? Settings, network. So this is not. This is a bridge adapter. Host only adapter. Yes, right. Virtual adapter. Two is real tech adapter. So one is that. Yes. Yeah, let's start. Yeah, this is the kernel version, guys. So out of the OS is kernel, right? So for initially, so what is the architecture of the Linux? Hardware. In front of the hardware, there is a kernel. In front of the kernel, there is a shell, right? So we are. So what this is a shell, guys. So you are executing the commands in the shell prompt only. I'm not getting a slash etc system network config scripts ifchg nps nps09, right? Type ethernet proxy none browser boot type equal to DHCP devices IPv4 IPv6 name equal to nps name uid device on boot equal to s only, right? Okay. Can validate it. Ethernet mode browser DHCP food priority DHCP on boot, yes. Hmm. On boot, yes. UID NPS 08 on boot equal to S. Same only, right? Internet boot priority DHCP on boot S. Let's see. Net 0 or net 6. Yeah, guys, init 0 is nothing but a shut down the mission. So init 6 is nothing but a reboot the mission, guys. Still, I'm not getting IP address. So what is this valid referred it forever? Valid refer for 130 seconds. Valid forever. Address of net 0. The settings. I'm changing the so that one is I'm changing it to widget after. Let's see. Yeah. So this is the Linux kernel version. Auto Red Hat PM getting it up and post only, right? Net 0 adding network networking post only play start. Username is root. Password is red hat. IPK. Why guys? Why it is not getting? What is this? IFC NPS 0. Data. You type to proxy browser boot priority. Default to IPv4, IPv6 name on boot equal to yes. Everything is doing good, right? Yeah, guys, 1 second. On boot equal to yes. Let's onboard this. Onboard this. Let's try with the static IP address, guys. Don't know why it is not getting. Yeah, let's try with the static IP address. Yeah, port priority is DHCP. Static. What is that? IP address equal to 192.168.56.1 dot. For example, I'm giving 200. Net mask 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 0. Net mask only, right? Gateway equal to 92.168.1.1 and the DNS1 equal to something like I'm giving Google IP address, guys, 8.8.8. DNS2 equal to 8.8.4.4. 8.8.8.4.4.4. So, right. Sorry. Escape. Scroll W. It's
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
Sir, is it better to use CentOS or Ubuntu? Because I have downloaded VB with Ubuntu.
Which one? Ubuntu. Huh?
Yes,
So Ubuntu, which version you are downloaded?
the latest version, sir.
Latest means.
I'll just tell you.
Hmm. So how do you know how to check the OS version? Cat. The command is cat
Cat
slash
and
etc os-release.
So can you repeat cat?
Yeah. Are you able to see my screen, right? Cat slash etc os hyphen release.
Okay, sir.
Which version? Devlin?
So it's Ubuntu 24.04 1 LTS. Version
Yeah.
is 24.
Very good. Very good. So
Yes.
you know CentOS Red Hat?
No, sir.
Okay. No worries. So anyone is fine. So if you want to learn Linux, so you can Linux the flavors of CentOS or Ubuntu, whatever it may be. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
in
So
this class,
CentOS is one, Ubuntu is one, and the third is
yeah. So I discussed in the okay. Yeah. Who developed the Linux OS? Yeah. Devlin, who developed the Linux OS? Who created? Who
Linus
invented? Who did?
Torvalds.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Linus Torvald. So why Linux came into the picture? So so when he was created the Linux OS. So in 1991, so Linus Torvald studied in one of the organization, and his mentor is asking to create a one Linux, and he created the Linux called as a Minix OS. Okay, he created the OS called as a Minix OS. So Minix OS having some drawbacks, and he overcome those drawbacks, something like network, and he created a new OS, and he is trying to put the new name for this OS. Then he what he took first four letters from his name. What is the name of first four letters? Line,
It's Linus.
Lino. So Lino and so he took from the based on the Unix OS, he created the Minix OS, right? So he took from the last letter of the Unix. Okay. So then Linux comes into the picture. Okay. Understood? Devlin. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So right. So he released as a open source. What is open source?
So open source means that the code will be freely available
Hmm.
and it can be modified and distributed by everyone. And modification means that any user using
Hmm.
this open source platform will be able to modify it accordingly, according to the needs, according to the requirement of the situation.
Source code also available. So source code means so something like he developed the code for creating the OS, right? That code also available, right? So so if you have a code, so what you can do? So for example, you have a Facebook code. So what you can do? So whatever you want, right? You can modify. You can modify that code something like if instead of Facebook, you replaced the book face and he released as a you released as a book face, right? Because of the source code. The same like as a so the companies took that source code and created their own type of OSs, created their own type of OSs. So for example, so IBM took that source code. So IBM company so took that source code and created their own OS called as a AIX Linux OS. What is that? AX Linux OS. The same way HP company also took that source code. So took that source code and created their own OS called as a UX Linux OS. The same way HP company, IBM company, the same way Sun company, Sun Microsystems. Who is that? Sun Microsystems took that source code and created their own OS called as a Solaris. Solaris Linux OS. The same way, in the same way, Oracle Linux, Oracle Inc. took that source code and created their own OS called as a Oracle Linux. What is that? Oracle Linux OS. So, and Red Hat Inc. Who is that? Red Hat Inc. took that source code and created their own type of OSs. Three types of OSs they created. So, one is Fedora, the other one is CentOS, and the Red Hat. So what are those? The three are so one is R&D, Fedora is for R&D purpose, CentOS is for freely available, and Red Hat is for enterprise edition. So enterprise edition, right? The same way, Amazon Inc. Amazon company also took that source code and created their own voice called as a Amazon Linux 2023. Amazon Linux 2. What is that? So Amazon Linux 2 and Amazon Linux 2023. Right? The same way, Debian. So Debian company also took that source code and created their own voice called as a Ubuntu. What is that? Ubuntu. So few of the Linux cells are called as a SUSE Linux, FreeBSD Linux, FreeBSD Linux, Kali Linux, and so nowadays Rocky Linux. What is that, guys? So Locky Linux, right? So first Red Hat Inc. build their own OS. So it's a Oracle, same copy. It's a copy of the Red Hat, and Amazon also it's a copy of the Red Hat. So if you learn any one of these OS, something like a Red Hat or CentOS, so it will be easy to operate these Linuxes. So what is the okay, where this guys? So this Linux is. Now you understood? So if you learn the CentOS, Red Hat or Fedora or Oracle Linux, Amazon Linux, so it will be so easy to understand the other Linux OS flavors also. So if you learn any one of the Linux, it will be easy to understand the other Linux also. So the core functionality should be same, but the difference between the few of the commands only. So for example, so if you want to see the OS of this OS of the which OS is installed on this machine. So class at ECC Red Hat hyphen release. Red Hat hyphen release. So what is the command? This is the command for cat Red Hat hyphen release. So this command is only used for the Red Hat flavors and copy of the Oracle Linux, Amazon Linux. So this command will execute on all these Linux boxes. But if you want to execute, if you want to see the the OS version on every Linux, the command is os-release. What is the command? Cat slash etc os-release to see the which flavor of the OS is installed and which version of the OS is installed on that machine. Understood, Devlin? Hello, Devlin. Did you understood, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what about Satish? Meghna, you know, right? So we already discussed this one.
Yes, yes, yeah, yes, bro.
Yeah. So yesterday we discussed about the few of the basic commands, basic Linux commands. So you know the basic Linux commands. So you know the basic Linux commands, Devlin.
Yes, sir.
So you started right. So yeah. So so what is the uname hyphen R? Uh, so we'll discuss, guys. No worries. Why I'm not getting IP address? So IPA. I think I need to reboot my mission, guys. CD/etc system network hyphen scripts. NPS 8 output equal to yes. Where where we did the mistake, guys. Do CP. Six. Think we need to reboot my mission. Then it resolve. Root or red hat. IPA. Start. Multi-class lower IP only. Let me ping this one, guys. Yeah, guys. I'm able to access this one. So 192.168.0.111. Okay, I'm able to access this one. Yeah. Shit, guys. Change the settings. So I want to increase the font size. So for this, you guys just appearance, change settings and bold 18. Okay. Play. Yeah. So now you're able to see, right? Satish, Devlin, Satish, Harshita,
Yes,
Meghna.
yes.
Yes,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Very good. So I connected this server. For example, my server is located in the data center. So how you can connect? You can connect through the putty. What is a putty? Putty is the third party tool. You already know, right? Devlin,
No, sir.
don't know the putty, right?
No, sir. I don't know it.
Okay. So you have the access of IP address. This is the broadcast IP address. So NAT is nothing but a, so it will be resolved on the local only. It will be resolved on the local only. Yeah. So something like a NAT and bridge. So bridge network. So bridge is nothing but a, it will get the IP address. It will connect from the uh, WAN also. It will connect from the WAN. So right, we can use the bridge network. And so yesterday we already discussed, right? Yeah. So you install on directly on the mission, or you install through VirtualBox, Devlin.
So VirtualBox.
So which VirtualBox you installed?
Oracle.
Oracle
Yes.
HVL box only.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Yeah. So I will tell you this. Uh, so this is Windows to Windows, and this is the Linux to Linux, and this is cross platform. So what this is? So for example, this is the a Windows box. This is a Windows machine, and this is also a Windows machine. Okay. So this is the Linux box. So this is also a Linux box, and this is the Linux box. This is the Linux machine, and this is a Windows machine. So right, so you installed in your laptop, which OS is installed, Devlin?
So it's
Windows,
Windows to Linux. I
Windows, Windows 10, Windows 10 or
Windows 11.
Windows 11. Yes. So you installed the Windows 11 OS. So this is the Linux OS. So this Windows to Windows is the same platform, right? So Windows OS, Windows OS. So for example, this OS, this machine is in the data center. Okay. So DC, data center. So for example, data center is in the Dehradun. You are from? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So yeah. So this Windows machine is in the US. You are in the Dehradun. Okay. So DD. So you are in the Dehradun. So this is this Windows machine is deployed. Keep it in the data center. The data center is in US data center. So you want to connect this from your Windows machine. So what is the protocol are you using? We're using the RDP protocol, remote desktop protocol. What is that? RDP. So remote desktop connection. So from the remote desktop connection, so right. So you provide the IP address of the server. What is the IP address of the server on our servers? So for example, 192.168.0.112 or 11311. Right. For example, this is the IP address of the server. Yeah, it will connect from the same platform. Right. For example, if it is a Linux, right? So if it is a Linux, so you can use the Linux. For example, to Linux. I want to connect from Linux to Linux. What is the command? SSH is the SSH is the protocol. So for Windows to Windows, RDP is the protocol. So -P 22 is the port number for SSH. So you can use, for example, root at the rate 192.168.56 sorry 0.111. Right. So you are providing which protocol to connect the Linux SSH protocol, and you providing the username and IP address of the server. Yes, it is asking. Then you are providing the password. Right. It's connected the Linux to Linux. Yeah. Okay. So Linux to Linux able to connect. The same platform we can connect through the protocols. So right here we are using the SSH protocol, secure shell protocol. The port number is 22. So RDP also we have a port number. I don't know exactly 369 or something like. So the port number of the RDP we can connect the Windows. Same platform we can connect easily. But this is a cross platform, right? So this is the cross platform. So your Linux machine is in US and you are trying to connect from your Windows machine. So so we need a so Windows is using the RDP protocol and Linux is using the SSH protocol. So Windows, right? We are unable to connect the in Linux machine and the Windows machine. So definitely we need a third party tool which will provides the SSH connection, right? So who are providing the third that SSH connection? Because of so we are getting the shell access. Which access? Shell access. SH means shell. S means secure shell. So we'll get the secure shell actions. How we'll get the secure shell actions? Who will provide this SSH? So there are few of the third party tools are there. Which one? Third party tools to connect the Linux machine and the Windows machine. So what are the third party tools? So for example, Putty also a third party tool to provide the SSH access. So M remote ng and Super Putty. So we can use the Super Putty to connect the OS, Linux OS from the Windows. So M remote ng Putty and MOBA Extreme, MOBA. So MOBA Extreme, we can use the MOBA Extreme Putty, Remote NG, Super Putty. So we can use these third-party tools. Git Bash also. We can use Git Bash also. What is Git Bash means? Bash means born again shell. So Linux provides only Bash shell. What is the born again shell? So these are the third party tools we can connect to over the Windows machine, right? So I install the putty, and I am connecting to the putty. What is it? This is the putty. You just go to the web and you just download the putty and install the putty. So from day one onwards, so how you can connect your server? You can connect server through putty. What is that IP address of the server? 192.168.0.111. Okay. So what is the IP address of server? So 192 dot so 168 dot 50 sorry 0.111. Right. So this is the IP address of the server. So I'm connecting through putty. I'm connecting through putty. Red Hat. Now you understood? So you are connecting the server from US in your Dehradun. So how you can connect? So you are directly going to the US daily and you will connect the server. So you can use the alternative method to connect the server. So the alternative method is something like a shell, yeah, secure shell. So, but if you are using Linux machine, directly you can connect through this SSH-P. Or if you are using Windows, definitely we need a third-party tool. That third-party tools provides the SSH action. So, for example, Putty is the third-party tool to connect the server. Okay. So, which IP address you have? Devlin. So, what is the command? The command is nothing but IP space A. You will get the IP address of the server. So then you can try to connect the server. So you can enable the bridge adapter for the network. Then you can. So I will give you one recording and you can watch that recording. You will understand thoroughly. Okay, Devlin, you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Right. Yeah. So yesterday we discussed about the few commands. Who am I? Who is logged in? Who means how many users are logged in? Uname or kernel version. Uname architecture of the kernel. Everything it will shows. Cat slash etc OS real. So which OS is installed and which version of the OS is installed on for every Linux. Only particular for Red Hat, Amazon, and Oracle you can use the cat slash etc Red Hat -release. Okay. So in Windows, we call it as a folder, but in Linux, we call it as a Devlin
Directory.
directory. Very good. So right, so this is the user prompt. What this is? So what this is? User prompt. So once you log into the server, right, you get the user prompt. So if you want to exit this server, exit from this putty or shell. So what is the command you can use? Just exit or control D. What is that? Exit or control D. If you see right, so yeah, putty is providing the SSH action and the port is, what is the protocol? The protocol is SSH and the port number is 22. So you can use here either IP address or the host name, okay, to connect the server. Yeah. So what is that? Cat slash etc Red Hat -release. So it will display the which flavor of the OS and which version of the OS is installed. Here I installed the CentOS 7.9, CentOS 7. And so if you want to see this command, the slash etc Red Hat -release is only particular for these flavors. Particular for these flavors, Oracle Linux, Red Hat Linux, Amazon Linux. So the command will execute. But if you want to execute if you want to see the OS version on apart from these Linuxes, what is the command? So the command is for everyone, every Linux OS. So we'll get OS-release. OS-release. So it will show the name of the release, version, and ID. So it will display same like. So now you understood? Develop
Yes,
that
sir.
is.
I've
Meghna.
tried it side by side.
Okay. So you name. So what is the command? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? I logged in as a root user. And the prompt, user prompt. I need to discuss about the user prompt. So what this is? This is the user prompt. So once you log into the server, so if you want to duplicate this session, you can just use the duplicate this session. Okay. So it is asking the username. So what it is asking? It is asking the username and password. So once you enter the username password, it will open the user prompt. What this is? This is a user a prompt. So right, this is the user prompt. So in this user prompt, yeah. So I have a yes. So Devlin, I have a GitHub account. The GitHub account, I provided all the materials like AWS DevOps, Linux material. So if you want, you can download it from the Linux administration. So AWS material and Linux material. This is the Linux material. Okay. So what we
Okay,
are
sir.
discussing? We are discussing about the user prompt. What this is? This is the user prompt. Okay, user prompt. So this is the login name. This is the mission name. This is the present working directory. So what this is? This is a user profile. Hash is nothing but a privileged mode. Root user can execute any command. Okay. So this is the user prompt and hurry at the rate localhost $12. So what is this? This is the user prompt for the normal user. This is the user prompt for the root user. So what is the root user? Root user is the super user. Root user can do anything. Root user can do anything. So that's the reason the privilege mode is hash privilege mode. So dollar privilege mode, user can able to execute some certain level of so some certain so user can have the some certain level of permissions. User is unable to do the all the actions in the Linux machine. The root user is the super user. Root user can do anything, but normal user having some certain limit of permissions. So what is who am I? Who am I is nothing but a who is logged in. Who is nothing but a how many users are connected. How many users are connected? Something like yeah. So so who am I is means who is logged in. So how many users are logged in? Who is nothing but a how many users are something like who am I? So who logged in? A root user. Something like SU user and I SU hyphen I.
So I have a doubt.
Yes.
So this hurry at the rate local host, is this
Mm.
working within the virtual machine or we are working on Putty right now?
So I'm working on the putty right now. This is virtual machine only.
Okay.
So I'm connecting this virtual
Okay.
machine. So this is the virtual machine I'm connecting from the putty. Right. So for
Okay. So
example, your
in
servers.
Putty we'll get a terminal.
Sorry.
In Putty we'll get this terminal and then we can go on with the commands that we go on
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
virtual
yeah.
machine,
So
right?
what it will provide, it
Okay.
will
Okay.
provide
Okay.
the so it will provide the something like echo dollar shell. Okay. So what it will provide, it will provide only the bash shell prompt only. We are interacting with this. So this is the server. So this server is located in the US. I want to interact with this server. How you can interact with this server? You can interact with this server through putty only. Okay.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Got it right? Yeah. So we'll tell you one thing. Yeah. So this is the architecture of the Linux. First, it is the hardware. In the hardware, there is a kernel. In the kernel, so there is a shell. In the shell, we are executing the commands. Okay. So, so what is a kernel? Kernel is a central component of operating system. It acts as an interface between the user application and hardware. The main aim of the kernel to manage the communication between the software and hardware. Okay. So, so is the Linux kernel is Linux a kernel or an operating system? So there is a difference between kernel and OS. Kernel is the art of the OS which manages the core feature of the OS, while if someone useful application and utilities are added over the kernel. So then the complete package becomes a OS. It can easily be said that an operating system consists of a kernel space and user space. So types of kernels, monolithic and micro kernels. So what is a shell? Shell is a software program that allows you to interact and access a computer system. User can enter commands in shell prompt, which will be executed by the shell. Since the only means of communication through shell is text, it's known as a command line interface. Now you understood what is CLI?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, shell is a software program that allows you to interact and access a computer system. Shell is a, yeah, now you see. So what is that? Shell is a software program that allows you to interact and access a computer system. So right, this is the shell. Which shell this is a bash shell. So what is this shell? To interact and access a computer, right? So we are directly interacting with with this operating system, Linux operating system through the shell. So user can enter the commands in the shell prompt. What are the commands? Something like ls. These are the commands we are entering the shell prompt, which will be executed by the shell. So who is executing these commands? Shell, right? So since the only means of communication through shell, so how you are interacting with this voice? You are interacting with this voice through shell only. So the since the only means of communication through shell is text, it is known as a command line interface. Linux is a CLI OS, command line interface. We can execute the command in the shell prompt only. Now you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, shell is a command interpreter and serves as a user interface to the Linux kernel. Linux kernel. Understood? Types of shells: SH shell, bash shell. Every Linux uses the bash shell. Bash is nothing but a born again shell. Born again shell. C shell, T shell, K shell they are using. But bash Linux is using only bash shell. So now you understood. So the Linux architecture. So the file system architecture we already discussed in the file system architecture. I will give you the recordings. You can watch those recordings. Okay. Yeah. So run levels of the Linux. What are the run levels? Zero is the halt. Halt is nothing but a shutdown. One is nothing but a single user mode. Two is nothing but a multi-user mode with some network services. So three is a multi-user with networking. 4 is unused. 5 is a multi-user mode with X window, something like a GUI login. 6 is nothing but a reboot. So what is that? Init 0 is nothing but a shutdown or alt. Init 6 is nothing but a reboot. So which mode is we are using? We are using the third run level 3. Run level 3 is nothing but a multi-user with networking. This is a CLI. So we have a GUI also there. So you installed a GUI, Ubuntu, Devlin. So you installed Ubuntu GUI or a CLI, Devlin. You there?
Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
can you please repeat the question?
Yeah. So you installed the GUI Ubuntu or CLI Ubuntu.
Sir, I believe I've gone with the CLI.
Okay. Okay.
What's the difference, sir, if I may know?
Yeah. So Windows, you know, right? Windows is a GUI or CLI.
Sir, I guess it's a GUI.
Yes. Windows. So Windows is a GUI. What is GUI? Do you know what is GUI?
Graphical user interface.
Yes, graphical
Okay.
user interface. So graphical means so the OS is built up with the images, something like a minimize, maximize, everything are the images, right? So the OS, Windows OS is built up with the images, built up with the images. That is the reason we are able to minimize, maximize, open, close. Everything will be graphical, right? But it took something like a 50 GB or 100 GB to install the OS, and so hackers easily can hack the system because of so the virus will come, something like a ransomware attack or whatever the attacks from the Windows machines only. So Linux is a, so what is Linux? Linux. So Linux is a CLI based OS. What is CLI? Devlin. What is CLI? Satish, Meghna, Ashita.
Line interface.
Sorry?
Line interface.
Yeah,
CLI.
yeah. Command line interface. So what is that? Command line interface. Right? Yeah. So how you can interact with this OS? So we can interact this OS through commands only. Okay. So through commands only. So we'll get the shell access, shell prompt, shell. So through the shell, we can execute the we can operate this OS through commands only. How you can operate this OS? You can operate these commands only. Right. Linux is a portable. What is that? Linux is a portable. At least if you have a 8 GB of a space storage, you can easily install the OS. Okay. And it's a portable and it's a highly secure. Most of the real-time application. What is that? So real-time applications are installed only on CLI, only on Linux, Linux machines. Linux machines only. So for example, Facebook, WhatsApp, where we deployed? They deployed in the servers. What is that server? The server is a Linux machine. So which OS is installed? So mostly they are using the Red Hat, CentOS, CentOS, and Oracle Linux, Oracle AX also. Nowadays we are not using Sun Solaris also. Right. So these all are the Linux OSs, the Linux OS flavors they are using and the real-time applications. Where they deploy the real-time application, they are deploying the real-time applications on the Linux machines only because of Linux machines are highly secure. Understood? Doubling?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right? So very good. Actually, I'm trying to give some of the examples of directories and but so the time is gone. So we'll discuss tomorrow, guys. We'll discuss tomorrow. Yeah. So Devlin, for this purpose, for you only. So so this is the yeah. So this is the Linux mission. So how do you figure out cd/etc. Yeah. So how do you figure out this is a file or this is a directory? But in the Linux, but in the Windows, we can easily see the so this is a file or this is a directory. This is the file. This is the directory in the uh, Windows machine. But how do you figure out? So this is a file or a directory in a Linux machine. Devlin.
Yes, sir.
So how do you figure out? So which is the file? Which is the directory in the Linux machine?
Sir, I have no idea.
No idea, right? So we'll discuss. Yeah. So here, if you see the ls command, it will shows the list of directories and files. But so we are unable to figure out what is the file, what is the directory, what is the link file. So by using the command llr ls-lrt, so in the ls-lrt, the first letter of the first letter is D. D is nothing but a directory. The first letter is hyphen, is nothing but a file. The first letter is L, that is nothing but a link file. Now you understood? The first letter D
Yes,
is
sir.
nothing but a directory. The first letter hyphen is
Mhm.
nothing but a file. The first letter L is nothing but a link file.
Okay. So
Understood,
can I
right?
see the command once more?
Yeah. So the command is LL, or you can use LS-LRT. Okay, Devlin,
Yes, sir.
LS-LRT. Yeah, this is the command.
Got it.
Or LL. LL is nothing but a long list. Okay,
Long
it will
list.
display the
Okay.
long list. Okay,
Got it. Yes, sir.
yeah. Yeah, you see. So types of files, a symbol, hyphen is nothing but a normal file, D is nothing but a directory, L is nothing but a link file. So the B is nothing but a block file, C is nothing but a character file. The first letter hyphen is nothing but a file, the first letter D is nothing but a directory, the first letter L is nothing but a link file. So you already know the Linux file system hierarchy, right? Devlin, Satish.
Yes, sir.
Yes, right? So this is the Linux file system hierarchy. So the uses of these directories are created while installing the OS. Every directory having their own purpose. Every directory having their own purpose. Something like a bin, OPT, boot, root, dev, bin, sbin, etc. So home, USR, media, var, MNT. So we already discussed in the previous videos. So if you want, I will provide that videos. So Devlin, you can share. Guys, you can share your email IDs. I will provide you the access to you guys. Okay? Meghna,
Sure, sir.
Hashita, Satish, and Devlin. So Devlin, you are already there in the WhatsApp group, right? You can share that email ID in that WhatsApp group or a personal.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, understood? So yeah, Devlin, what we will discuss, we'll discuss starting the Linux, then we'll start the AWS. Okay?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you will get a good idea on the Linux. So once we start the Linux. Okay. Yeah, guys. We'll continue from tomorrow. Thank you.
Same time, sir?
Yeah, same 7 to 8. Devlin.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, bro.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.